What's up, guys? So I am currently on Glabs and gonna kind of run down the Succ Musa changes. So you guys, each one at a time, and kind of talk through how I feel about the changes. So all in, they're pretty good. I would consider us up, but there are some glaring weaknesses that need to be corrected for it to be useful. So to jump straight into the changes, there's about 9 of them. The first and largest one obviously being the chase change. So our chase now goes further, significantly. You can kind of turn it now, which is cute. But all in, we lost the ability to chase cancel. So this is me holding the chase cancel now. With that, it's kind of bad timing just due to the fact that with Mega out and stuff, it's such a heavy range meta, and we've lost that ability to gap close. But hopefully, as Mega gets nerfed and things balance out, and melee classes become more useful, then maybe it'll get better. But all in, great change. This is going to be way easier on your stamina. You can't cancel it with LMB anymore, so you can't cancel it with the Q block. So if you were using the block to cancel the chase early to get forward movement while regenerating stamina, you can no longer do that. And there are some other issues we'll go into it in a bit. So Prime Debite and Blind Slash itself got huge buffs. It says that Blind Slash got a damage buff. I'll show them on screen. It's negligible. It's not a buff. Who cares? Blind Slash doesn't do damage anyways. But the range is insane. So they're basically they basically have almost the same. Wait on the cooldown. They have almost the same range as each other, which is really good. For a long time, Prime Debite had less range than Absolute Debite, which was silly. But now they've not only fixed it but extended it. So all good stuff there. For some reason, the 100%, which does minus 64% damage in PvP, still does way less than the absolute version. So I don't really get that. But we're about the same. But all in, whatever. Our 100 is still useless. They didn't fix that. But at least Debite is a better range. Single target FGCC is as good as it's gonna get in 2023. So using Debite feels a little bad, but whatever. Good change. So Blind Slash, the same thing. You're going to be using that a lot more. It was already one of our major catches and refloats. Now that you're going to be able to use those skills to do all kinds of other things, which goes into the next ones like stub arrow and evasive shot. Stub arrow lasts 5 minutes now instead of 60 seconds. That's irrelevant. But evasive arrow did get a cooldown reduction, which is insane. That's one of your best catches. It's an iframe catch, basically, that you can cancel straight into chase with. Usually, when you hit that knockback, you're following up with Typhoon or Blooming. Now, just to get the gap closed. Now that's Blooming CC is gone, you'll probably end up using Debite or Blind Slash. Probably Debite, which is fine. You'll just have to get used to that. That's just one of the changes that'll take some getting used to. Forward blind thrust, however, so as you know, to use forward blind thrust, you LMB space. If I could do it, the issue is it's just not working. Like, I can use it while I'm walking forward. But due to the fact that chase can't be canceled with LMB anymore, you can't actually forward blind thrust from chase. Hoping that's a bug and gets corrected. You can still use it after like Fire Angel and stuff. You can still use it while just holding W. There you go. But all in, it's just not working. That's going to be really bad considering the new debuff on it was pretty good. The minus 18% accuracy. It used to be minus 30% melee accuracy, which equated to like 30 sheet. It was bugged. It was terrible. It was like a 7.58% decrease when you looked at it. But it did used to stack with the Blind Slash minus 9% act rate, which equaled about the same as what you're getting now. But now instead of just melee, it's all of them. Instead of having to use 2 skills, you now only have to use 1. The issue is right now, if this change goes through, that that debuff is worthless because you're not landing FPT, and Blind Slash is so easy to hit now that that one's going to be up pretty much 100% of the time. So if you're using the minus AC add-ons and trying to stack them, or you're looking at which one's going to be easier to hit, it's definitely Blind Slash right now. Hopefully they fix FPT. Again, you can still use it from Fiery Angel, which is super nice. And you can still use it from Divider, so which is nice. So if you were using it for like complex movement, like that's all still usable, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. But hopefully they fix the chase thing, because you basically are using FPT from chase 100% of the time. And one of the other changes, we can just skip this one right ahead. Now that Fiery Angel gives blue buff automatically, most of your Fiery Angels are now gonna end with like Gale or something like that instead of FPT, which you were trying to get the blue buff from. So now you're not gonna really want to FPT from Fiery Angel as much, in my opinion, because you're just gonna waste the blue buff. If you land the FPT, you're gonna double stack the blue buff. It's just, it's a waste of resource. So all in, whatever change. Hopefully they fix the FPT. That would be very nice. Fire Angel, we talked about that. Backstep slash, the damage is all just the same now. That's whatever. I think they're streamlining that. Crusher. So now it's a KD again, because they can't decide what the fuck to do with this skill. It's just bad. Like, they just need to realize it's fucking terrible. It wasn't usable when it was this. It wasn't usable when it was this with FG, and they also nerfed the damage on it, but gave it crit rate. So whatever. We already pretty much have 100% crit rate with our heal, which gives 30. Our passive gives 10, and then your innate crit you have already. The 50 to 100% crit rate is completely irrelevant. That's white noise, just like the stub arrow change. They nerfed the damage on it. For some reason, it already did nothing, and then they removed the FG from it completely. They said they sped up the animation a little bit, which is nice, but you can see the gap itself is still longer than when it was originally an unprotected KD because of the little bit of FG that it had before the KD went through. So all in, stupid change there. It's a dumb skill. It was replaced with Mountain Divide. All the utility of this skill, Mountain Divide has. Mountain Divide is just a fixed Crust Crusher. You'll continue to use that. This is cute, I guess. So whatever. And then the biggest con here is obviously the blooming change. It no longer stuns. Well, that's a big, but it has an FG. So that's kind of a hurtful change, considering when they sped up the animation in the last big Musa rework, we lost the float on Prime Divider due to the fact that they made it animation lock you for both hits. So where I used to be able to just, that was a float, and it was basically 100% protected, we lost that. We lost that so that way we could use blooming and have it be a stun because it was fast. You're gonna no longer have the ability to hit that stun while you're SA trading, so any of those like accidental catches and things like that, because it was a multi-hit CC, are gone. You're now going to have to choose an unprotected skill to try to catch them. Most of the time it's going to be evasive arrow, the arrow evasion here. That's just kind of your best catch now, or I guess D-bite, which in melee range it's whatever. The range isn't going to really do a whole lot. But all in, the change itself, you can still do, even with the new chase and the FG blooming, you can still do most of the changes, or most of the cancels, well, all of the cancels. So, in PvE, I guess it'll be okay, but all the skills that grant your, blooming, or your blue buff kind of are still unprotected, or are still going to be canceled as fast as possible. The whole intent of Succ Musa blooming is to cancel it as fast as you possibly can. So, like, you know, with either Rising Storm, Backstep Slash, or Gale, the intent there is to make that FG as small as possible. And that tiny little gap, it's not going to help. I don't know why people think that FG is a good thing. Losing that stun sucks. This is now the second best CC we've lost, but whatever. All in good changes. I'm still going to just SA trade and try to smash gear and AP into people. That's not going to change there. I think the evasive arrow is going to make for some fun clips. It's always a fun one to land and catch out grabs. So those are the changes. If they fix FBT, I think we'll be okay. And Succ Musa literally just, in for PvP at least, got just easier to play. And that's just all there is to it. So it's a good change for normal players. I think losing the stun on blooming hurts a little bit. But the evasive arrow plays will probably compensate for that a little bit. And yeah, so those are the changes. Let me know what you think.